guys? My name is Paul Brumbaugh, and I'm here in Pauly's basement. But I'm not really in the basement. I'm cheating. I'm actually in the valley today, but I'm hanging out. It's a Friday afternoon. I'm hanging out with a good friend of mine, originally from Cleveland, Ohio. Met him in San Francisco. Stand-up comedian. Now's been in LA for almost a decade, I believe. It's like 8 years. And right now he's just chilling out with his canine friend. Give it up for Sal, everybody. Sal
Hey,
Callani. How's
what's
it
up,
going, buddy?
Pauly?
Good. How are you doing, my man?
I'm good. Sitting here with my buddy Bruno. He, for some reason, all of a sudden, since I had to do this, started showing me all this attention.
Are you sure you're not smuggling bacon?
Well, I do have some bacon in my pockets. That could be it, right?
You never know what's going on. That's the dogs love the bacon. So you're coming up here to the San Francisco Punchline on Tuesday, March 25th, 7:30 show at the Punchline. How you been, man?
I've been good, man. I mean, ups and downs, lefts and rights. Still doing it. Yeah, I got this coming up, and like I figured, I'm thinking about filming it because I've been on the road a bit lately, like the past year and a half. I've been fortunate. I've been open for Tim Meadows a lot. And so I think that's really kind of gotten my set pretty tight. And then I've been headlining more, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just record this, because stuff gets dated after a while too. And I just want to get it out there and, you know, start new stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so Tim Meadows from Saturday Night Live, man. I
Yeah,
love
so
Tim
that's why
Meadows.
you showed me that Farley autograph, and Chris Farley is kind of like that's one of my first biggest inspirations. Early '90s SNL, so Farley, Meadows, Spade, Norm, all those guys like Rock. They just inspired me, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I moved to San Francisco and I got into stand up. And I like that more than like improv or sketch because like you didn't have to rely on anybody else. You know what I mean? yeah. So
Yeah, no, I do like it. I like it because I don't have to remember any lines. I won't
yeah,
step on my own fucking punchlines.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like to improv because I can't really fuck up there, right?
Right. Yeah, I've done. Yeah, I did do some sketch and stuff back in San Francisco and all that, and I enjoy it. But yeah, I don't know. There's something about stand up when it's just you and a mic, and yeah, so it's been awesome. And then and then sometimes I get to hear some great SNL stories and Farley stuff from back in the day. So that's always like really cool. You know what I mean? That's the best part about it is just talking and hanging and, learning the history of a lot of things.
Yeah, I would think hanging out with someone like Tim Meadows, there would just be kind of endless stories because he was there. No matter which group of comedians you came from out of SNL, no matter what class it was, graduating class, those guys really have a lot of stories. They had a lot of talent. Again, even in the years that people were like, "Oh, didn't like Saturday Night Live" in those years, they constantly churned out stuff like that. So yeah, that must
Right,
be really fun. So
right. And like, oh yeah, Sandler. I forgot, how did I not mention him? He was the biggest wonder in those times. But yeah, those, and those guys, they all kind of, they were together for that moment for so long that they all have these like bonds and stuff. And it's really cool to see. And even, I watched some of the 50th and, yeah, it's groundbreaking. 50 fucking years. That's insane. It's insane. So
did you see the reunion or the anniversary show?
yeah, the 50th. Yeah, I watched some of that, and it is great when they bring back the other older classics. Like they got Dana Carvey when he came back and was doing Biden so well. Like he just so good. And then of course what's his name, Mike Myers doing Elon Musk recently. But yeah, Dana Carvey though, man, like when he did or not W, hit the first Bush, and he'd be like, "Not gonna do it," and like that wasn't even like a real line that Bush would say too often, but he made it like a catchphrase, and then he did the same thing with Biden. What do you know? Like whatever his Biden was so good.
Yeah, I mean, he does even like I think about his Ross Perot. Ross Perot.
Yeah, yes. Like he was so good when they did the three of them, the debate with Clinton, Perot, and Bush, and he did Bush and Perot, and they had to have Spade like just fill in as a stand-in, but he didn't do any of the lines during that sketch.
Right. So now you're coming back to the punchline. It's this month. It's Tuesday, March 25th, 7:30 show. It's an early show. Why do I
It's
feel
an
like
early
am I
show.
getting older? Is it a dinner 30 dinner theater show?
Now ain't no 6 o'clock. Now I don't know what it is. It's a Tuesday night, so they're like, hey man, people don't want to be out too late. And we were just talking too how we used to do the Sunday night punch, and they used to do Monday nights too, and the shows were always 9 o'clock, which was like a little late, and then they bumped it to 8, and I think that definitely, I think more people were into that, and yeah, now 7:30. But I'll tell you, man, I've done shows all over the country. I did a show with Tim. We were in OKC, which was a really cool city. Like you learn a lot. Like I feel like you go to the States and they're like super red, and you're like, oh, well, what am I gonna get here? And then you meet some of the coolest fucking people, and then you forget the state is like 55, 60% red. It's 45, 40% blue. So you meet all these people, and that show, I think the first show was 6 o'clock. And I've done some early shows, but it was just so dark in there, and you wouldn't even know. It was packed. Like people came out for him, so it was really like it was cool. People don't matter if the time don't matter. I guess if they come out, I mean, maybe at 2 p.m. would be rough, but I've done that
Well,
before.
we used to be afraid of doing comedy in the daylight, especially in San Francisco. I don't know if we were vampires or what was going on, but
It's not
we
a
thought
good, yeah,
that comedy or laughs couldn't exist in the daylight hours. Like
yeah.
they were going to drive a stake through it or something, right?
Right.
And
No,
so,
it's true. Especially like, yeah, there's something about it. If it's still light out and you're going into the club. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of times clubs though, they know how to shut it down and make it seem so like, it's a dark little intimate space, and that's all you need. It's amazing. I love it.
well, and so some clubs do it right.
Right,
And that's
right.
why you're privileged, or we're all privileged to be a part of the punchline kind of atmosphere. It's a short, dark room. It's got one exit for the most part. It's got a fire exit that's never gets used, but
Yeah.
there's the one curtain that gets drawn
I
across, and that's
I
it.
do say when they have that other exit, I go, keep that one closed. I want them all funneling this way so I could get my shirt sales.
Yeah, no, get all those sales you can from all that merch you've got. And so
I'll say
I'm
this
looking
too.
forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, and you're gonna possibly be filming this thing. That's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. I will say like too like, and I've messaged the booker at the club, and I was like, man, after doing all these clubs all over the country, I have learned that we are fortunate to come up in San Francisco in a very professional run club, and there's a reason why guys like Dave Chappelle think it's the best club in America, and we're lucky to have grown up in that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, I feel very fortunate. Do you know the one of the main reasons why he loves the punchline so much?
Hmm.
He was told right before going on stage that his one child was being born.
Ah.
He was notified that his daughter or son was being born, and then he went
Oh,
up
I
and
didn't
crushed
know
it.
that.
And so he has a real. Also, the other stuff with San Francisco, he just loves San Francisco.
He loves it. And I
But
remember when he went to Africa, and then when he came back, he just would only do San Francisco. And a lot of us got to open for him because of that, and got to meet him, got to watch him like 40, 50 times. And like you've seen him do his 4 hour sets, but then to see him do an hour and a half, there's like nothing like it, man. There really isn't. And the thing with Dave, he's one of those guys that he's likable that you just want to hear what he has to say next. So he could sit there and ramble, do a 4 hour set, and where he's really kind of writing and talking into the crowd, but everyone's still glued to everything he says. It's pretty amazing actually.
It is. I love to watch a workman in his tool shop
Yeah,
working
that's
his
amazing.
tools, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. We've some of us have been really privileged to be privy to 4 hour sets in Oakland, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
or
No,
even at the
he
Punch and just sitting there, and he'll take the microphone to the bathroom with him.
yeah, yeah.
I've seen him take the microphone to the bathroom with him and keep going.
I remember one time I was working and I was opening, and he walks in the green room, and I had like this hoodie jacket, but then SF, you got to have two jackets, right? So I had my hoodie,
Yes, sir. Yes,
but then I
sir.
had another jacket over it, and he walks in and goes, "Oh, that's a nice jacket," and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's mine." And he goes, "Oh, this is a nice one too." I'm like, "Yeah, that's mine too." And he goes, "What'd you go school shopping?"
That's
Oh
great.
man, yeah, he's
So
so
yeah,
great.
now back to school. So
Yeah.
speaking of back to school, what does it feel like to be going back to the Punch and doing this?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I go up there still every year, which I'm pretty fortunate too. I know a lot of comics, once you move, it's hard to, keep that relationship going. But I've still been able to go up there and work. And I'll tell you, man, it's another thing. Like, everybody does the clips now. You got to do the clips. Like, I did a casino recently, a headline a casino, and I'm setting up my camera, and then the middle has her camera, and then the opener has his camera. I'm like, what is going on now? This is what it is. But anytime I've been putting clips up, the punchline clips always people react the best to. And like the crowd, it's just the crowd's right on top of you, and it's really yeah, it's just a great response from them. You know what I mean? And the audiences are great. They're smart. They're you can't just be a hacky sack. Just being zany isn't enough for a San Francisco crowd. Like you have to have something behind it, and that's what I really appreciate about them.
Yeah, I like the idea of being able to work different regions in different areas and figuring out what works versus what doesn't work in your home field, so to speak, right? And
Right.
so that's always neat, but it's also good to come home.
Oh, it's the best. And I'll say too, like people are always like, oh, well, this work if you do it, you could do it in SF, but can you do it in Oklahoma or blah blah blah? Dude, and the bottom line is funny's funny. And if it's funny, like I was in Paris in December and I was doing shows in Paris and people loved it. It was just awesome. It's like there's a lot of English speakers. They like American comedy there because it's more punch heavy, where I guess French comedy is a little long story. And yeah, I think you can just connect with people all over the world, really. If it's funny, it's funny.
Now, talking about legendary clubs, I'm going to play a little clip of yours from, or at least part of a clip from yours from Gotham. How was
Okay.
that, man? See, that's been on my vision board. If I'm a teenage girl, it's on my vision board. Okay, so that I have not been able to mark that off my bingo, my club bingo, venue bingo
Yeah,
card.
Gotham was dope. I did I sent him a tape that I recorded. I was at the Irvine Improv, and Eliza Schlesinger brought me on the road a couple times before, and at the time she let me do a guest set, and I recorded it. And what's cool is they do the audio and you get the video, so then I mix the two together. And I'm telling you, a lot of comics they want to know like, oh, what did it? Make the video good quality. I mean, now that's not hard. Everybody kind of has that now, but that's kind of important. If it doesn't look good, they're not going to waste their time watching it. So then I sent it off, and yeah, they invited me to do it, and that was on a Monday night. I had to film that on a Monday night. And one thing though, it wasn't super packed in the crowd that night because there's also the season opener of Monday Night Football, and I think the Jets were playing. So it's in Manhattan, the show, and it definitely had that vibe of like, a lot of people doing some other stuff in the city here. But that is a beautiful club, and it was awesome. And they shoot it live. Like you're not getting any they're not cutting stuff out or anything. Like this is what you're getting. And it was a little nerve-wracking. I did it with like four other comics, and but yeah, it was awesome. And then you had that very professional looking clip, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's something that goes in your portfolio. So that's a beautiful thing. Let's share a little bit of that. Just to let you know, because I forgot to share this with you before we went on live. Since we're doing your mic the way we're doing it, your mic's going to be hot during your clip. So
be quiet.
Just definitely don't be throwing the dog bone to the dog. And here we go. Here's a little bit of Sal Callani from Gotham. Guys, here we go.
I got a very Italian family. I got Uncle Al, total jackass. Recently, he retired, moved down to Florida, lives in a retirement community in Florida. You have to be 65 years or older to live there. Uncle Al, he's 57. You know what that means? It means he's got a fake ID made so he can live in a retirement community. How messed up is that? And then he's always bragging about how good he is on the softball team. He's like, I'm the best, I'm the best. I went to one of the games, I'm like, Uncle, you're 30 years younger than anyone in the field. The shortstop's attached to a catheter to a pee bag. The right fielder's dead. You got Bernie Sanders playing third. It's like, come on. You don't think he can play third? I'm trying to be out with nature more. I'm trying to go to more national parks. I went to the Grand Canyon last year, and I was almost murdered by a mule. Yeah, so they have these mule rides, right, where you could walk like along the edge of the canyon. And I want to impress my girl, so I'm like, let's get these mules, right? So they pair you up. So they pair her up with Shannon, the gentlest of all the mules, right? She gets down on her knee, like, climb upon my back, young lady. And next to Shannon, there's this mule having a mental breakdown, all right? He's like, this is it, man, this is it. Every day, every freaking day, another fat, sweaty tourist on my back. I'm done, son. And they go, all right, Sal, that's your mule there. I said, I don't want to go that mule. He's crazy. He's like, he's fine. Just hit him with this stick. So, yeah. So they throw me on him, and this mule starts freaking out. He's like, get off me, man. Get off me. We're going down. We're going down together. And I start trying to get the guide's attention. I'm like, yo, there's something wrong with my mule. I think my mule's suicidal. And the guide gets all snarky. He's like, that's stupid. Why would a mule be suicidal? Why? I was like, I don't know, maybe because he's the unnatural spawn of two different animal species, and now he can't have kids. I'd want to kill myself too. So what you do is you walk along the edge, and everyone stops, and they take these pictures, but not my mule, all right? He's freaking out. He's like, forget it, man. We're not stopping. We're not stopping. And he starts running for the edge. And I start trying to get the guide's attention, but he's off telling a dumb fact about the canyon. Like, you know, at the widest point, the Grand Canyon is 18 miles. And I'll never forget that fact because he almost died learning it. So he's running closer and closer to the edge. And finally, this like calm comes over me. And I realize I'm about to see a view of the canyon that no one's ever seen before. And he's getting closer and closer. Finally, the guy jumps off of his mule. He stuffs mine in the chest. We walk him back to the barn. We looked in his stall. We found a note and a Nirvana album. I was like, I told y'all, that mule had issues. He was humming Amy Winehouse, I'm telling you. I try to impress my girlfriend a lot because she's 10 years younger than me.
All right, so that's Sal Callani at Gotham, and that's happening. But you can also get your tickets for Sal Callani at the Punchline in San Francisco, March 25th. And we're back here live with Sal.
It's
that
funny.
was fun. That was fun, man.
I couldn't listen to myself.
Because you have that thing. You have that thing like I do, right?
I look like I have a freaking seizure on stage. What am I doing?
Right? No, I get it. I do this thing, but I love it. You're killing me, son.
Yeah. No.
So
I'd say that mule joke is my most listened to on Sirius XM. Everyone likes that story. So that's why with this new special I have, I'm going to be I'm still talking about the animals. I love the animals. I don't know if you see, I've been watching Planet Earth, and yeah, so I'd still love to talk about it. So, yeah, Italian family and animals. That's a lot of me and society.
And I'm telling you, LA's is doing you good, man. You're looking to look like Dax Shepard in this.
I've been mistaken. That's the one celebrity I've been mistaken for before.
You should do some like man on the streets, like Dax Shepard kind of thing, and pretend like you're Dax and see what happens.
Yeah, I got the nose and the face a little. Yeah, I've wearing a hat. I was in the Grove one time, and someone saw me talking to someone like, "Are you talking to Dax Shepard?" I'm like, "No, that's."
Yeah, don't worry. That never happens to me, brother. I never get confused with Dax Shepard.
Yeah.
People just
Well,
want to help me across the street. People just want to help me get across the street safely.
That's funny. Sir, can I help you?
Could you use a meal on wheels, sir? That's the kind of stuff I get.
That's funny. Yeah, I guess it could be worse.
Right, it could be worse. So, Sal, shout out everything that's you. I know that I've got your lower third somewhere there, but tell us where we get everything Sal Callani.
At Sal Callani, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I do a podcast with my buddy Reggie Steele from up there. And yeah, we're spitballing with Sal and Reggie. We do that every week. You can catch that on Apple and Spotify, YouTube. I'm also on the YouTube and all this stuff.
I want to get you and Reggie. I want you and Reggie to come over to the dark side. I want to start doing some video guys with your video podcast. That's what you need to be doing.
Okay, I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Like both?
Aren't you just doing? You're just doing audio, aren't you?
No, we do video.
Oh,
We do
that's
on
right.
Zoom.
You're doing video, but you're doing like Zoom, or what's your interface?
So we do Zoom for the video, but then yeah, it gets put on the audio separate, which is nice. I do like they give you a video thing and an audio. So then yeah, I upload the audio to Spotify and Apple and all that and Amazon, and then the video I only put on the YouTube and for the clips. Everyone needs the clips, but I'll say you got to do the clips. You never know. We just put a thing on TikTok. We got over 500,000 views. Like everybody was like, it's just Reggie talking about political stuff, but like, I can see it. I can see why people get followings real quick because things just start blowing up in comments, and then it just exponentially grows. But
yeah, you definitely need to repurpose clips. You definitely need to make YouTube Reels or Facebook Reels. And really, that's where your traffic, that's where it happens. That's where it starts. Because why? When I was growing up, they used to tell us kids didn't have the attention span beyond 15 minutes. Now kids don't have the attention span beyond 45 seconds.
Right.
You know, like we have a criteria in our line of work, right? We have to have LPMs, laughs per minute, right? So we're the industry standards still about 15 seconds, right? It's about 10 to 15 seconds. They want you to get a little laugh.
Right. I mean,
and
that's
so
the problem though, if you're only a viral sensation and not a comedian, because then they start taking these spots from comics and doing comedy clubs because they could pack it out. But once you see the 30 seconds of fame that they did, you get kind of like, you know what I mean? It kind of fades out during the show.
Right. And you can produce clips and upload them versus trying to do something live. But I think you have to grab your audience within the first, 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Especially if someone's doom scrolling. If someone's doom scrolling, you're not going to make it.
No. It's such a different time. But you got to adapt or die. That's the game, right? So whatever. So that's part of why I'm going to do this too. Like you don't need to, you're not going to just, no one's just going to notice you out of the crowd anymore and be like, hey, come, I'll sign you and give you all this. No, it's all DIY, man. Like, I made a short film in SF like years ago, Lucifer's Crew Cut, about the death metal barbershop quartet. It's all DIY.
Oh, I love that. You have that on your YouTube channel. I love it.
Yeah, it's on Maria Bamford's YouTube channel too now. She shared it on hers, so you can go check out on her page, and she put it up there. And it was cool. And we had Jello Biafra in it, but also Guar and the guy Brocky. He passed away.
That's crazy. You had Guar, you had Maria, you had the crew.
Yeah, people have written, they're like, Maria Bamford and Guar in the same movie? What the hell?
I love it. It's a virtual feast for all the senses, buddy. I'm telling you. So
and I just saw her. She had a book signing. I went and saw her, and she's, it's just cool. You're like, hey, it's just like, You know, people give you a chance back in the day, and then they still cool to this time. Like I love Maria Bamford. She's awesome, man.
Yeah, she's real people. I love it when people don't lose touch from where they are. They're just people. Because guess what? We all are. Isn't that wild?
That's all it is. You know, they want to label you other stuff. People just be cool, man. That's all that matters.
So do me a favor, shout out your socials one more time, and then we'll get out of here because I know you're a busy man. You probably have 5 more daytime talk shows to get in there.
I gotta take the dog for a walk.
Don't forget to bring the little doggy bag. There you go.
Yeah, I gotta go pick up fucking shit. At
At least it's warm in your hand.
Yeah. It'll warm me up on this cold LA morning. At Sal Callani, March 25th, San Francisco Punchline. I'm headlining. I'd love to have everybody there. And yeah, man, good times. I appreciate you, Pauly.
I'm sitting here talking again. That's Sal Callani, March 25th at the San Francisco Punchline. Get your tickets. It's available at punchlinecomedyclub.com. Sal, again, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.